It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
A fine Saturday matinee to you both, Andy, Steve. Good morning.
Top of the morning to you. Oh, damn it.
No!
Just wants to come out.
Andy, you've got to stop eating Lucky Charms for breakfast.
Purple hearts, purple hearts.
That's all I dream about anymore.
How you guys doing? The three of us have not been on a long time. I feel like we've been standing in for months.
It's been probably since like August or September.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Because Andy had his little sports hiatus for a while.
And then
It was mostly Andy,
Pete was just done. No.
I was done.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a good way to start the new
time
year.
zones impact me. You guys, when you say, hey, let's do Saturday matinee in the morning, and it's like 5 o'clock Pete's time. Nope.
Which means it's like the darkest hour of the evening, of the night. Pete's like, I can't operate in darkness.
Care for it.
They might come to get me.
I don't care for it. Okay, so we have a little bit of news that we have to get through, and this is a very special episode of VSP. It's the predictions episode.
Woohoo!
Right?
Because we are nothing if not brilliant prognosticators.
We have historical episodes, lost to the arc of time, where we actually did try to do this. We did try to pick.
We did,
picks.
yes.
They didn't go well. They probably went well for you.
You know,
It
it's a lot easier. I don't know if it's a lot easier, but it's certainly easier to make predictions if you've had a chance to see everything, like a lot of actual film critics who actually watch everything that's nominated. When we look at predictions,
well, if they would just send us screeners, then we could
we
deal
need to
with
get on the
this,
screener list.
We have sadly no screeners.
That's what we need.
Sunday, January 6th, 2019, we have the red carpet live stream begins at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the Golden Globes. First of all, have you seen the new Golden Globe? The actual statue is apparently new. And, there it is. Yes.
It looks like the old one.
It looks like the old one.
It's a globe on a
What does
little
that
stand.
say across the bottom? Head? Did they change that?
HEPA. No,
of
HFPA,
course.
the Hollywood Foreign Press
Hollywood
Association.
Foreign Press Association, right.
Yeah.
Why did they make it look like head? They could have done better on that. I'm just saying. They could have done better on that.
Oh, so funny.
Okay, so let's go through it. What do you think?
They're longer, leaner, and more golden is what it says.
What?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, there they go.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our winners and nominees 2019.
Don't quite have the winners.
Well, I'm just reading the heading. I just read. I'm very much Anchorman. I just read what's
just
in
put
front
words
of
in front of Pete and he'll.
So
would you like to start? Should we start at the top or start at the bottom and move up?
Well, I don't know. What's in front of your face, Pete? Let's start there because that's what you're going to read, right?
Load more.
Oh, there we
more.
go. Okay. So we're going to get down to best performance by an actress in a made-for-television movie on a network you've never heard of.
Okay. Let's start with start at the top. How about best motion picture drama? And the nominees are Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, If Beale Street Could Talk, Star is Born A, 2018, and Black Panther.
Star is Born A. I like how you
you
really are like reading off the teleprompter now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Star is Born, comma A.
Why did you do them out of order? Why did you put Black Panther last? It's first on my list alphabetically.
It's not first on the list on their website, though. That's weird.
It is on mine.
What?
I'm looking at theirs, and it's got nice big pictures of the posters, and goes from left to right. Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian. There's so many B's. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The letter B has a monopoly on Best Picture.
Beale. Oh my goodness.
So that's why Star is Born should have been B Star is Born.
It should have been Born a Star Is.
Right. With Yoda as the singer. That would have been the way to do it.
I still haven't seen, as Andy and I were saying, when the nominations came out, we're like, we can't even make guesses here because there's some of these films we haven't seen because they haven't been released yet. And I been slacking off, and I haven't gotten out to see Beale Street or Bohemian Rhapsody yet,
I have not seen Black Klansman or Bohemian Rhapsody. I do. I think we mentioned this before. I find it odd still that Black Klansman is in the drama category instead of the comedy category,
Yeah.
and that's just me based on the trailer. It looked like it was a Spike. Spike Lee.
No, it's definitely more of a drama.
Is it? Okay. All right. The trailer.
It's a drama with comic it's got some comic moments to it, but it is definitely got some. I think what does it is his little epilogue at the end, where so they finish this story, and then there's a whole bunch of like news footage from like the past 2 years of still
Gotcha.
how this is still an issue. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
of the three I've seen, it's a tough one. I want to see Black Panther take it because I'd be really excited to see that happen. Seeing a real quality Marvel film like that make it. But after seeing If Beale Street Could Talk, I feel like that's the one I would go with. I really just found an amazing connection with that story.
It feels like Golden Globe bait in this category.
I don't know.
Well,
This is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, though.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
They're notoriously
Exactly.
weird with
This
their
is-
picks.
yeah, that's true. I haven't seen Beale Street Could Talk, but I as controversial as the interpretation was, I feel like Bohemian Rhapsody is it's so deep in my heart. Like I really enjoyed that movie. I'm with you. I kind of would like Black Panther to get it because it is a quality movie certainly in the genre. But I feel like I could go. I could let Bohemian Rhapsody go, given I haven't seen Beale Street, as long as Rami Malek is up for best performance by actor.
Which he is.
I know. But between the three of us, I want that to be there. I think you're probably right on Beale Street, though.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's too serious. I think it could be. I think Pete's right. It could be Bohemian Rhapsody. I think it could be A Star Is Born. I really enjoyed that. I think maybe Beale Street too serious for a Golden Globe.
It might be kind of too small.
This is
It's so hard to say because I don't know. How well did Moonlight fare in the when it was nominated a few years ago?
What was that 2017?
Moonlight won for Best Picture Drama, then nominated for Best Director, Score, Supporting Performance by a male, by a female, and Best Screenplay. So it did win Best Motion Picture Drama. So
it all comes down to marketing and how much money they're putting into their promotional campaign with this stuff. So which studio's behind Beale Street? The same ones, I would say the Academy Awarding. Oh no, it's the director of Moonlight. So I don't know. I think that's what comes down to it is how much money is moving around behind these things to push some of these. So
okay, so
that's the cynic in me.
Steve, did you make a pick?
I think it's probably going to be. I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody. I would say probably A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born, If Beale Street Could Talk,
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody. So we're divided. All right.
Yeah, so two of us will be wrong.
And none of us have seen all three of those movies. So that's great.
All five.
All five. But of our pick, because we have just narrowed it down,
Basically.
and the Golden Globes should just hack off Black Panther and Black Klansman. Because we did
Which
we did
one
some
of them
the
will
work
probably
for. Saved
win.
you a click.
Yes.
Hollywood Foreign Press. All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Steve's right and if Star Is Born walks away with it. It was really the kind of the big audience. Well, that and Black Panther were big audience connection films, but A Star Is Born feels like more the type of film that would win an award.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's me changing my pick, but
Yeah.
I think it is. I think that's what you've just done there.
Yeah.
So you've narrowed it down.
There you go.
okay.
Now,
Best motion picture, musical, or comedy. Oh, go ahead.
If A Star Is Born is in Best Motion Picture and Bohemian Rhapsody is in Best Motion Picture, shouldn't Green Book be in Best Motion Picture? I don't know. I find this musical or comedy nomination frustrating. Crazy Rich Asians, The Favorite, Green Book, Mary Poppins Returns, and Vice.
Yeah, I don't know why Bohemian Rhapsody and A Star Is Born are not in musical.
Yeah.
or
In the
comedy
musical.
category.
Yeah.
I feel like they take the word
I guess
musical very literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say, because those are movies that have music in them and people are singing, but it's not a, I guess, classical musical where it's characters singing not because they're singers but to move the plot along or express how they're feeling.
Whereas Green Book apparently is a comedy, or is that a musical?
It's a knee slapper if I've ever seen one.
Oh wait, because he's playing music, so that's why
right.
it's a musical.
Music exists.
Yeah, and music.
I still
think
haven't
it's
seen
probably-
Green Book. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's probably going to be the favorite because of Karma.
Well, the nominees are Crazy Rich Asians, The Favorite, Green Book, Mary Poppins Returns, and Vice.
Yeah.
So you think Crazy Rich Asians is? I mean, that had so much
Well, Pete said The Favorite.
attention.
I said the favorite because of our Karma for us, because we tried,
okay.
and we couldn't see it. Nobody's been able to see it. Except Andy, you've seen it now?
I have seen The Favorite, Mary Poppins
Okay.
Returns, and Vice.
I have not seen. Except for Green Book, I have not seen any of them. So
So Pete and I are in
Yeah.
the same boat. Yeah, we went and saw Green Book because we
did it on the show.
couldn't find a place to
right.
see The Favorite. Yeah, exactly.
And I never in a million years
And-
would have predicted Crazy Rich Asians would have been leading one of these categories. And so I skipped it and I regret it.
I would pick The Favorite for sure of the three that I've seen. I don't know how I'd feel about the other two, but I'd like to see The Favorite take it because I'd love to see it getting some of the recognition that it certainly deserves.
But it's the Golden Globe, so it's going to be like Mary Poppins Returns or Crazy Rich Asians. Possibly Green Book, but I still don't see Green Book as a comedy, and so
I could see it
think
going to.
You've got the whole
I could
Disney
see Vice.
Vice, really?
Well, you never know.
Well, I
Yeah.
haven't seen Vice. I want it. I
What
want
did,
it badly based on the trailer alone.
The Big Short was nominated, and it only was nominated. It didn't win anything when it was nominated in 2016. So who knows? Who knows? But I'm going to pick The Favorite.
All right. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama. Glenn Close for The Wife, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, Nicole Kidman for Destroyer, Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me, Rosamund Pike, A Private War.
I've seen exactly one of those, A Star Is Born.
Yes.
Yes. We are useless
The
in
Wife?
some of these categories.
Yeah, we are. The Wife, I don't even remember when was that out? I don't even recall a movie by that title this year.
A wife questions her life
The
choices as she travels to Stockholm with her husband, where he is slated to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature. Glenn Close, Jonathan Pryce, Christian Slater.
Okay.
That feels
I mean,
like a nominee for an actress that they give a lot of nominations to. Glenn Close has had 15
yes.
nominations and 2 wins at the Golden Globes over the years.
She's like the Golden Globes wild card. Like they just play her when they
Yeah.
need somebody.
She's like their Meryl Streep.
She's their man. Yeah, that's right.
I have only seen Lady Gaga's performance, but I feel like they're going to give it to her because there's been so much buzz about it.
Okay. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. Bradley Cooper, A Star Is Born, Willem Dafoe, at Eternity's Gate, Lucas Hedges, Boy Erased, Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody, John David Washington, Black Klansman. I'm all in on Rami Malek.
And I haven't seen it. I heard great things about Lucas Hedges in Boy Erased and Willem Dafoe. He's been getting a lot of buzz with his performance of Van Gogh. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up taking it. Yeah, it would be an interesting thing to see. But I don't know. Bradley Cooper, the whole Star Is Born performance thing. It's kind of a big train on that one, I think.
Yeah, I would say Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, so I don't know. But I'd say either one of those guys for acting and singing.
Yeah.
Because, double threat.
Is Rami, is he actually doing all of his own singing?
No,
he is doing a lot of his own singing. He's
Is
doing
he?
a lot of it.
Is he
It's a
really?
mix
Okay.
between, I think, a set of cover bands and Rami Malek. But he tells a number of stories, if you've watched any of the pressers, of him having to sing for Queen and how, with them on set watching him actually perform, and so he's not doing all of it to my knowledge, but he's doing quite a bit. So
best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Emily Blunt.
Go ahead.
Emily Blunt, Mary Poppins Returns. Olivia Colman, The Favorite. Elsie Fisher, 8th Grade. Charlize Theron, Tully. And Constance Wu, Crazy Rich Asians. I am Olivia Colman, hands down. She was so good in The Favorite.
I love seeing Elsie Fisher getting the nomination
I
here.
do too.
It just is heartwarming that her name is on the list because that performance in 8th Grade was so fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you watched that with your kids, Pete?
Not yet.
Have you had a chance to? Because I started it with the college student and her friend, and they were watching it and having a bit of nostalgia for 8th Grade. I don't know, we're just noticing so many little things that they're like, oh my gosh, this is so 8th grade. So,
well,
I mean,
that's right.
As people that have been there more recently than we have, they were really impressed with like how accurate a lot of that was. And I just was watching, I thought, I forgot how I remembered that was like one of my top films of the year when we saw it this summer. Starting to watch it again, I'm like, oh my gosh, this film is so overlooked. I'd love to see her get nominated. You never know what the Hollywood Foreign Press is going to do, but you've got Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins in there.
I feel like this should have gotten a nod for Best Director and Best Screenplay too. I mean, it's really frustrating to see this film as to see her the sort of lone representative of this movie.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
really
that's something we haven't talked about as we've gone through. What didn't they nominate that they should have? But that's certainly one that's in my books should have been getting some more recognition.
Absolutely. So where are we? Where does that leave us?
Did you guys pick? So Elsie Fisher is your picks?
Well, no, I don't think she'll get it. I just feel like it's such
it's a nice nod,
a strong showing by her. I think it'll probably be Olivia Colman, even though again I haven't seen the movie. What's your take on Charlize Theron for Tully?
I think she was fine in the film. I don't think she'll win. I don't think the film had enough buzz at all to garner anything more than a nomination.
Is it interesting that? All right, never mind. I scratched that. Scratch it.
Okay.
All right.
Best performance by an actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Christian Bale in Vice, Lin-Manuel Miranda in Mary Poppins Returns, Viggo Mortensen in Green Book, Robert Redford in The Old Man and the Gun, and John C. Reilly in Stan and Ollie, which still hasn't opened here.
Right.
Is Old Man and the Gun is a comedy? Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't see it, so I just from the trailers I thought, and again it comes back to is that a comedy or is it a drama with some comic moments to it?
I mean, I would say that's what it is, but I think it's a light heist film. I think that's kind of what it is.
Oh, okay.
Christian Bale in Vice, I think, from the two that I've seen, I've only seen Vice and Mary Poppins Returns. You guys can speak to Green Book. I'm sure Redford, if he gets it, it's because, it's supposed to be his last film.
His last film.
Yeah. And I mean, John C. Reilly looks great in Stan and Ollie. I just feel like Christian Bale, I mean, it was ridiculous how much he just completely became that character. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised if he takes it for that reason alone.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like John C. Reilly should get some attention as redemption for Holmes and Watson. Talk about a guy who can play both ends of the spectrum. But I think you're probably right, Christian Bale's there. I think it's a kind nod that Lin-Manuel is on the list, and good for him for doing this, his first major feature. Viggo, I don't think has it as much of a fan as I am of him, the performance in Green Book. Although I talk about the other end of the spectrum, I did not care for that movie, and I felt like his performance didn't merit a nomination. So that's
who I would love to have seen in here is Hugh Grant from Paddington 2. I don't know if either of you saw that film, but he was hilarious. I think that he absolutely deserved it, if for no other reason than the brilliant musical scene at the end of the film. It was just so fantastic, and he clearly relished playing the role in that film. Very great, very great.
I haven't seen that one. That's one we usually watch. That's one of the sort of the category of films we usually watch at home. So,
well, check it out.
I need to do
and
that.
you will agree with me. Hugh Grant was amazing.
Best performance by an actress in a supporting role in any motion picture. Claire Foy, First Man; Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk; Emma Stone, The Favorite; Rachel Weisz, The Favorite; Amy Adams, Vice.
I still have not seen First Man, so you guys can speak to Claire Foy, but I would pick one of the two from The Favorite. And if I had to choose, I feel like I'd go Emma Stone. I don't know.
Wow. But Rachel. Rachel.
It's a tough call. They're both at
so
the top
great.
of their game. Yeah.
Claire Foy, I think, was one of the strengths of First Man, and I am one of those that really enjoyed First Man, and she was a stronger part in it. But I think you're probably right with The Favorite. Again, haven't seen it, but that's just my sense.
I'd love to see Regina King take it for If Beale Street Could Talk. I just don't think she will take it, though.
Because
I think that the performances in The Favorite are just so strong. I think it's hard to step away from that one. I don't know. I could be wrong, though.
I don't know. It's because The Favorite's going to sweep every category it's in. And again, we're going to be sitting here like,
well, the thing about this one, though, this is an interesting one because they are competing against each other. This is one of those things where maybe they're going to cancel each other out. It'll allow for Regina King to win. That would be pretty interesting to see. Who knows?
All right.
What's next?
Best performance by an actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Timothée Chalamet for Beautiful Boy, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Richard E. Grant for Can You Forgive Me, El Machina del Oro, Sam Rockwell for Vice.
I have seen one of these, so
I've seen two of these, and I always confuse Beautiful Boy with
Boy Erased.
What's the other one? Boy Erased and Ben is Back.
Yeah,
I get all three of those
that.
confused, and so I'm like, he's a beautiful boy that was erased, and now he's back.
Sam Rockwell was fine as W. I thought he actually embodied that role quite well, but it felt a little like there wasn't anything more than just kind of being W. I don't think that he brought anything to it that screamed to me, let's give him an award. So and it's the only one I've seen. So from there, I don't know which way to go with those other four.
Let's see, Mahershala. I just have mixed feelings about that entire movie.
I do too, but I don't. I think that Mahershala Ali is the pick of momentum. I think he's just getting a lot of press around a lot of things that he's doing, and that may, push him over the edge.
I hear that Richard E. Grant, his performance, I hear, is kind of a front runner. So it makes me even more curious to watch that film and check it out. And who knows? Maybe he'll be the one who takes it this year.
Really? For
Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Out of
yeah.
Well, okay. So, there was Edgar Wright tweeted about Adam Driver. And let's see, it was basically, I can't find the tweet now. Basically saying that in the last decade, Adam Driver has been directed by Spike Lee, Martin Scorsese, Steven Soderbergh, Terry Gilliam, Steven Spielberg. It's like the only one he hasn't worked with, I think, is like David Fincher or David Lynch or something? It's like this dude has like scored like actors bingo in the past decade with the directors he's worked with. So I don't know that his role in Black Klansman was strong enough for an award. But
again, talking of momentum,
dude is dead. Yeah, somebody to watch, because he's just been, from Star Wars to what was that, Patterson, that small Jim Jarmusch film. I mean, he's working all across the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of him hitting the right role at the exact right time. And it's just a matter of, within the next couple of years, seeing whether that happens or not for him. So not this year, I think, but hopefully soon, because I think the dude deserves something.
I'm a little sad that Sam Elliott from A Star Is Born didn't get nominated, because he was pretty fantastic in that one. And I just love Sam Elliott. Be nice to see him in there.
Totally.
I don't know. For me, it was Sam Elliott playing Sam Elliott.
Really? I thought he did a much better job. The relationship between those two brothers, I thought, was great.
Okay, best director, motion picture.
Bradley Cooper, Alfonso Cuarón, Peter Farrelly, Spike Lee, and Adam McKay. I still haven't seen Roma.
Yeah, and that just dropped.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago,
I feel like
ago?
Bradley Cooper's gotten a lot of
3.
buzz. I don't know if because he might win actor that's going to pull away from director. For me, this is one I would just love to see go to Spike Lee, because I think even if I don't always like his films, I think he's generally doing some pretty interesting stuff with them.
I can go with that.
Agreed.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about best screenplay motion picture? Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, Deborah Davis and Tony McNamara for The Favorite, Barry Jenkins, If Beale Street Could Talk, Adam McKay for Vice, Nick Vallelonga, Brian Curie, and Peter Farrelly for Green Book.
I'd like to see The Favorite again.
The Favorite? The Favorite's Andy's favorite.
I don't know.
Okay.
If Beale Street Could talk, I'm going to switch my vote. I'm going to go with Beale Street. That might be more a personal choice, but
right.
Well, for the Oscars, I think that's going to be split, because Beale Street is going to be under adapted screenplay and Favorite would be under original. So you can have both for your Oscars.
All right.
I'll take it.
All right. The Favorite and Beale Street. Steve, did you have a different pick?
Yeah. No, because I have seen only Green Book, and no, not Green Book.
Best motion picture animated. Isle of
Spider-Man.
Mirai of Ralph Breaks the Internet. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, The Winner, and Incredibles 2.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement on that.
I don't see how anything else can do it. And I think we should. Are we okay with that? Or you want to do score? I haven't heard a lot of these.
I think we can just stop there. I
think we're done.
Yeah. Although, I think we'll just stop there.
All right. Well, I have a lot of movies to see.
Yeah, that's always the case with these. Looking at these, it's like too much to catch up with.
Award season, and I feel like I didn't. Some of my picks, I probably made the wrong choice. When I hit them in theaters. So, got a lot to catch up on, but it's coming January 6th, 2019, Sunday. That's tomorrow. So I've got about 27 hours of movies to see between now and then.
Do it. Cool.
Okay. Let's do trailers.
Let's do it.
Andy, you should go first, I think.
I am going to go first because I'm so excited for my movie, Happy Death Day to You. Oh my goodness. I had so much fun with Happy Death Day, which came out in 2017. One of the Blumhouse productions. They did an amazing job of making kind of a Groundhog Day horror film with this girl who gets killed and then keeps re-waking up at the beginning of the day and has to try to figure out who the killer is so that she can escape this loop. And the only way she gets into the loop, though, is by being killed. So she has to keep getting killed over and over and over again until she can solve this who this killer is. Now we have the sequel, which looks just as much fun as the original. She wakes up. This is 2 years later, but she wakes up back in this time loop. But now the killer from the original one has been murdered. And now her friends are also getting killed, and they're tied into this whole time loop thing. And so now she has to figure out who the new killer is to really get free of this whole time loop. It is so much fun. I could not believe how much fun I had with Happy Death Day. Absolutely brilliant film. Jessica Roth as the main character. I mean, she ruled it. She brought so much life to the film. And, I haven't seen her in much else. I know she was in La La Land, but I missed everything else that she's been in. I guess she's in Valley Girl. They're doing a musical version of Valley Girl that's coming out soon. So that will be interesting. But really, I mean, it's a great cast of characters, but really she's the one who is bringing it home. And the same team of people behind it, Christopher Landon, writing and directing again. And so I can't wait. This is the one I'm very much looking forward to this year. What about you guys?
Oh, I thought the first one was terrific. I watched it shortly before we had the film's DP Toby Oliver on the Speakeasy on the show, and he is back. It was nice to see his name back on this one as well. Really, really fun. I love the fat mean baby mask for the murderer. I think it's very clever, and this is my kind of slasher movie. This is good times. Very much looking forward to this one.
So, Andy, you did it again. Now here's another franchise I've got to binge sometime because I never saw the first one because I was like, it's going to be a gimmicky thing. And I'm going to be disappointed because they're not going to execute on this interesting concept. But I love what they're doing with the sequel here of taking that same concept but really reinventing everything. So I'm very intrigued by what they're doing with this franchise, and so now I gotta do a double dose again, just like the Moon Nazis from last week. So.
Totally.
Do a foursome. The Iron Sky films and the Happy Death Day films.
Yep.
That'll make for a fun weekend. Well, I can't wait for this one. It is set to open Valentine's Day, just like the last one was. So Valentine's Day 2019. So make sure you check it out. Happy Death Day to you.
Excellent. All right, Steve.
Yes, I picked this film in honor of you, Pete, because you're up there in the cold zones of the upper
north, Steve.
Come on, you're up there. What time does the sun set? Like 2 p.m., right? Because you're up near the Arctic Circle. We're more equatorial down here.
It's very generous.
And we're having an actual cold spell down here. I think was it yesterday or Thursday? It was actually colder in Phoenix than it was in Anchorage, Alaska.
Take that, Anchorage.
How cold is that?
It was 30 degrees.
30 degrees.
Yeah, up at the Grand Canyon yesterday, it was it was -6 at the Grand Canyon the other day. So we do get a little bit of that cold weather, but this is Arctic. This is Mads Mikkelsen stuck in the middle of the Arctic for some reason with somebody he's got to save. So it appears that he's been in an airplane crash, and he's trying to survive, and no one's coming to rescue them. So he's got to make the big trek, and so it's sort of the ultimate man versus nature film. I imagine probably not a lot of dialogue except for cries of anguish and pain in the cold there, which I think he can pull off really well. There's just something about the way this trailer was cut together, just looks like a great thrill ride on this adventure of really high stakes, man versus nature. It's coming in February 1st, so just right around the corner. I don't know what that means for a film like this. Currently, it is sitting at the 7.4 on IMDb, so looking good based on 352 reviews. This is one that just looks like great landscapes on a big screen will make this a lot of fun to watch.
Well, The Gray was a favorite of mine when it came out. There's something about man having to survive in the bitter cold wilderness. In that one it was wolves, and this one it's a polar bear. I'm curious to see how Mads pulls it off. If anyone can, he can. I mean, he's just a fantastic actor to watch. And it looks like they've done a great job with this. I mean, he said that they shot this over 19 days up in Iceland. He said is the most difficult shoot of his career. So I can only imagine, because you're actually out in the elements, and imagine how difficult that can be. But I'm all in with this one. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this role was sort of made for Mads Mikkelsen. Like, he's just got the face for suffering, and so good on you, Mads. I think this was a great choice for him to take on. It's horrible to watch the trailer. I probably won't see this movie. It's going to have to be. It might be a cell phone, watch. I don't think I'll be able to do it on a big screen. I'll have to watch it on my phone, and that's probably enough for me. I don't like cold. I don't like the whole agoraphobic thing that's going on in this movie. I certainly don't like falling through ice holes, and the risk of falling through ice holes into water. And oh my God, the trailer shows the scene where he's pulling his injured Maria Thelmas Mardotir up the hill, and she's up the steep cliffside and drops her, and my stomach falls out from my body. It's just
she's on a sled. She's just getting a nice little ride down the side of the mountain.
Thinking too. Oh, thank goodness I'm on a
She's
sled.
unconscious. She's unconscious at the time. It's fine.
Wait! I gotta get my hands out to put them over my head. It's horrible. Thankfully, it is getting that 7.4. It will get recognition from somebody, if not me. Yes, horrible. There you go.
Well, it is PG-13 for language and some bloody
And
images.
sledding.
So, and
Yes.
ice sledding. So, it may get a little gruesome there with the bloody images. So maybe it is best that you stay away.
Polar bear fight.
Yes.
When does it drop?
February 1st, right around the corner.
Excellent. Yes, I'll make
Perfect
other
for taking the kids
plans.
Your
Come
kids,
on,
this,
now your daughter's going
you
to want
need
to go.
take them.
The kids will go because they will be like, yes, our Hunger Games camp skills. This is where this is going to
So
come
you're
in
going to
handy
have to
for us.
sacrifice yourself and your own desires,
That's
and you're going
right.
to have to take your children to show them how they can use the skills that they're learning.
Do you know what? I'm going to bird box this movie. I'm going to go with the family, and I'm just going to wear a blindfold.
There you go. Because I imagine in the event of a blizzard up there, I imagine Pete goes out to shovel the driveway, and the events of this movie are actually how he imagines that is going to go as he goes to shovel the driveway. He may fall through the snow into into a river that's flowing underneath the driveway.
I do have to worry about the neighborhood polar bears, Steve. They just roam,
Yes.
stealing our trash here in Portland.
Yes.
Good grief. All right, my turn. I'm doing Close. This is the new film for our fair friend Noomi Rapace. Director Vicky Jewson brings us the story of Noomi as a bodyguard and counterterrorism expert. She takes a job protecting a rich young heiress. And as you can imagine, they're buddies to be, but at the start they don't really like one another. And then she's kidnapped, and there's a lot of fighting and badassery. And that is why I'm in it for this movie, because I think, I'm on the record for Noomi Rapace being a badass. From the very first time I saw her in Dragon Tattoo to What Happened to Monday as the Setman sisters, I really, really like it when Noomi gets to beat people up. She's just really good at it. She's compelling. She's believable. And this is a movie that lets her stretch her action legs again. Do I think it's going to be a great movie? I do not. It looks like it treads on some very familiar ground. But do I care about that? I do not. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm in the same place. It looks like some great dynamics between the characters. Story wise, the way the trailer was put together, I wasn't getting a lot of the sense of the larger story. I have a sense of these two, and it's sort of like kidnapping and yes, lots of action going on and badassery, as you say. But will that pay off in the end? I don't know, but I believe, is this a Netflix release? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Okay. So again, I never know. That's sort of that mixed bag of, well, you can watch it safely from your home, and it's not a big investment of time and resources to actually leave the house. You can just put it on and watch it. So there's not a lot, on your side to make a decision. It's just click the button. But this is one that I'll put on the list of as I'm scrolling through. Like, well, yeah, this is a good Saturday afternoon, sit down and just watch and see what it looks like. I'm not expecting great things, but hopefully I'll be pleasantly surprised. Numi, I did enjoy her in the one with the clones and the Monday. I thought that was a nice little Netflix.
That was
treat.
actually the Swedish title.
So
The clones
the
and
one
the
with
Monday.
the clones and the Monday.
the Mondays, the ones with the clones and the Monday. Yes.
I'm a little nervous. I'm
So,
pretty nervous about
yeah.
this one. Vicky Jewson, this is her third film. Her previous two films, I have not seen them, but Lady Godiva was her first film, 2008. It's at a 3.6 on the IMDb scale, and Born of War is her second film, 4.4 on the IMDb scale. So she's not. She's improving. 3.6 to
improving,
4.4.
Andy.
So
Yes,
maybe
that's
close
right.
will be pushing that 6-star. Who knows? I don't know. I watched this trailer and it ended up feeling very like stuff I've seen countless times. And so I don't know. I couldn't get into this one. I really struggled. And I honestly was a little disappointed that it's not a biopic about Glenn Close.
That's what it's going to be called. That's right. That's really good. Man, you are just gold today, Andy. This one drops January 18th. If you want to see badassery from Numi, and I'll be there. I'll be there.
Check it.
I should add, just as we are talking about this, speaking of Golden Globes, our fair friend Ben Lott of the Blotspot, formerly of the Blotspot and of Twitter, has just released his review of Roma, and it is a Ben Lott 1-star. So if that gives us any idea, there we go.
Means I'll probably
You'll probably love it.
And he did, and true to as Netflix suggested, he did watch it on his phone. I think it's funny that Netflix actually pointed that out. This is the perfect one to watch on your phone. Oh, Netflix. Yes.
They did.
Why would they do that? Oh my gosh. Speaking of Netflix, have either of you had a chance to watch the Black Mirror Bandersnatch?
Not
I still
yet.
have not. It's been open on my desktop
All right.
forever.
For next
Yeah.
week. For next week.
Homework.
That's your homework.
I've got homework for you too.
Oh, no.
Yes, I know. In the name of the
Yes.
Father, and it's
Yeah.
sitting there
For next week.
waiting. Sure. Okay.
All right, let's do our list.
Steve
Let's
can't
do
come,
our list.
Steve
And we
can't
gotta
come
go.
to
This
Sat
is-
Matt. He didn't do his
This
homework.
is an epic Saturday matinee. We gotta
Yes.
bust through this. Here we go. For our
Yes.
list. The list was, what was the list? I wasn't even here.
We were this week we released Oliver, and the options were Orphans, Street Gangs, or Rags to Riches, and everybody picked Street Gangs. So that's what we're talking about.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
I have exactly 3 picks.
Oh, then I guess
No.
I'll go
I don't want to go
first,
first.
because I've
I don't
been
want to go first. I'm okay eating the steals. It's just the way it is for me today.
The way it's going to be.
All right.
What did we do? Andy, you went first for trailers. Please go first.
My first one is, I have to decide which one I want to use first.
It's like rock, paper, scissors. You got to be
I
strategic.
know,
to
and
avoid
especially
the
knowing
steal.
that Pete only has 3. I have 2 that I absolutely want to use, so I guess I'm going to just use them first so they don't get stolen. My first one is just one of my favorites, and now I know it's way too low on Pete's list. He really needs to rewatch it and re-rank it, because Big Trouble in Little China should absolutely be higher, Pete. Oh goodness, I love this movie. The story set in Chinatown starts off with these street gangs as good old Jack Burton ends up on the wrong street, stuck in Chinatown, and gets right in the middle of a battle going on between street gangs that then shortly gets interrupted by some warriors of the mystical arts, and it goes from there. I just love this movie and always have. So there's my first pick, Big Trouble in Little China, starting high.
I actually can't believe that's not a steal for me. You're right. I should have had that on the list. It should be higher. It deserves a re-rank. And I'm with you on that. I own it. Steve?
Okay. Well, there's some obvious ones that we may battle it out on higher ground here as we come along, but there was one that came to mind as I was thinking of street gangs and what does that mean? And I was digging into memories and of movies because I can't think of a lot of recent street gang movies. It seemed like as I was a teenager, there were lots more movies about like thugs and gangs. And there's one I've seen it probably once, maybe twice in the mid '80s on cable TV. But I just remember this movie had this great soundtrack, an amazing look to it that it felt like a comic book movie to a certain extent, and has an amazing cast. If you think about being in 1984 and having a movie with Rick Moranis, Willem Dafoe, Diane Lane, Michael Paré, Bill Paxton, Rick Rossovich, Streets of Fire. Written and directed by Walter Hill. This is about a mercenary played by Michael Paré who's hired to rescue his girlfriend, who's a singer that's been kidnapped by a motorcycle gang led by Willem Dafoe, who is in like giant rubber overalls and battles with a giant sledgehammer. Anyone?
You kept saying those names, and I'm like, I was like, what movie are they in together? What is this?
No idea.
Never seen
it. Never seen it. Oh, it's a classic, forgotten, bizarre movie from the 80s. 6.8 IMDb.
Wow.
Well over the 6 point.
One of these days I'm going to do a Walter Hill series just to catch up on some of his films, because I've seen...
If you watch the trailer, you'll probably be like, oh, yeah, I think I remember this movie.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'll take a peek at it. I'm curious about that one.
My number 3 is it's low hanging fruit, but it is one of my favorite introductions of street gangs in film, and I own that, even though it's one of those comedies. It is, of course, the reporter Smackdown in Anchorman. I love this so much. It is the first thing I thought of when this whole list came up. I laugh every time, even when I'm just done laughing at the rest of the movie. And there's a lot in that movie that's funny, but that one slays me.
It was never a favorite of mine.
I know.
But I appreciate that scene. That scene was pretty funny.
That scene was funny.
Are they really street gangs? Are they on the street? Aren't they at the zoo?
No, they're like in the back
alley. They're
alley.
always on the street. They're reporters. They're always
Oh, that's true.
That's
okay.
the joke,
You're man on the street.
That's the gag.
Okay. All right.
All right, Andy.
For my second choice, I'm looking at a film based on a book that I think every kid probably ends up reading in school at some point, by S.E. Hinton. It is The Outsiders. Francis Ford Coppola made this back in '83, and then he released a version of it, the complete novel version that came out in 2005. That is the one to watch. I think that it absolutely captured the book so much better than the shorter version did. I really connected with it and the characters in it. This is a story taking place in Oklahoma, and you got two kind of street gangs here. You got the greasers; those are the kind of the poorer kids, and then you have the socks. Those are the kids from the wealthier side of town. And of course, our characters, Ponyboy and Johnny and the rest of the gang are all kind of in the greasers, and there's it leads to some pretty dark things in the story, but it's a good one. I really connected with it, so that's my second pick, The Outsiders.
That's a steal.
Possible steal. I got some padding around it, so it's not. I can give you that one. It's a steal from Pete.
Oh, it's definitely a steal. That was my number 2 steal. Stay gold, Ponyboy.
That's right.
Stay gold.
Yeah.
All right, Steve.
It's such a.
Have you guys seen?
I need to see that.
Have you guys seen the
I don't
novel
know.
version?
When was that? What year was that?
It came out in 2005.
Really? Yeah. So then I haven't seen that version of it. So on my list,
definitely check that one out.
All right, Steve, you're number 2.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess then if we're getting into that, do I save it for the? This is so tough to do. All right, I am gonna go with street gangs. I'll just move up in time a little bit. I'm gonna go with Boys in the Hood, because it's one I haven't seen in a while. I think I remember seeing this in the theater and just being completely like blown away by this movie and gang life, the impact it has on people, and so I'm throwing that in there as a space holder till I get to number one.
Space holder. I totally agree. That's a fantastic pick.
Yeah, that's what I haven't seen in quite a while either. But I was considering putting it on my list, but because I hadn't seen it in quite a while, I couldn't remember enough of the street gang elements of it, so I wasn't quite sure I wanted to pick it. But it certainly is one that I should revisit. I mean, we did talk about Menace to Society on the show recently, and that that was definitely one that would be also worth on this list. But Boys in the Hood, that's good stuff. All right, Pete.
My second pick was The Outsiders, so I'll go ahead and pass. Back to you, Andy.
You don't want to? Okay, all right.
No, he's got nothing.
Well, I don't want to end up with another steal.
Well,
okay.
It is quite possible. But I don't want to jump a turn. I don't want to take a turn.
Sure. Okay.
I don't want to take a turn.
Yeah.
Well, for my final pick, I am dipping back into the John Carpenter well, because why not when he's got some great options for me. I am, of course, looking at Assault on Precinct 13 that he made in 1976. It is a little bit kind of inspired by Rio Bravo, inspired also by Night of the Living Dead. It's really a brilliant and taut film about some police officers who are in Precinct 13 when this street gang of just these unknowns start attacking them, and it makes for a really engrossing and terrifying ride. I had so much fun watching this film, and I think John Carpenter early on in his career just really knew how to make some films like this. I mean, he's very relentless, and there's a very difficult scene where a young girl gets killed by these gangsters. I know that gave him some trouble when the film was released, but it makes it feel very real and very visceral. So that's my final pick, Assault on Precinct 13.
You guys haven't talked about that on the show? I swear. I guess it's just come up in
conversation.
conversation.
As we've talked about other Carpenter films.
Yeah, other Carpenter films, yes. Yeah. Okay. All right,
Steve.
All right. Well, I'm going with a film that's actually being remade by Steven Spielberg, and it's going to have rumored to have Ansel Elgort in it. West Side Story. When you talk about street gangs, you got the Jets, you got the Sharks. You got to talk about West Side Story, and the fact that it's coming to take on a classic like that, to remake it. I'm very interested to see where Spielberg is going to take this classic and make it his own, how well he's going to be able to pull that off, because this is one of those, like, why would you even touch this unless you're going to do something really, really different with it? So I love the original, and I'm very, very excited and anticipating what Spielberg is going to do with his version of West Side Story.
Just because you can do a thing, Stephen, does not mean you should. I'm just saying. Makes me nervous. Makes me nervous.
Well, he is, let's see, it is working from a screenplay by Tony Kushner. So we've got some solid, groundwork that he's going to be building off of there. So, and supposedly Rita Moreno's coming back for this one. So
Rita Moreno? What?
Well, the cast right now on IMDb: Ansel Elgort as Tony, Rita Moreno as Valentina.
Oh,
that's the cast that they've confirmed so far.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of the original, so I guess I'm...
What?
I've never cared for it.
You shut your mouth. What?
I don't like...
Andy.
I just don't like... it's not the film.
Andy doesn't like musicals. You don't like musicals.
He also doesn't like
love
Feeling
musicals.
Good.
I don't like
Natalie
Romeo and
Wood.
Juliet. Pete knows this.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
You don't
of
like
that.
Romeo and Juliet?
It's not my favorite
what?
of Shakespeare's works.
All right.
Yes.
And
yes,
the snapping, for
I've had
Pete's
to
sake.
ask Andy for a stand-in for our show because of his feelings about Romeo and Juliet. Anyhow, okay. Well, it makes me nervous because I am a fan of West Side Story and I love the music, and so I'm excited to see what happens. But at least I'll always have the 61, whatever Steven does to retcon history. I'll always have the 61. All right. So my third pick, I'm actually a little bit surprised. I'm only a little bit surprised that neither of you have picked this. When I started thinking about this list, immediately after I thought of Anchorman, I thought, what is the feeling that I get when I watch these kids as the street thugs, as the gangs? And there is exactly one movie that allows me to have the feeling, even if we're not talking about street gangs, we're talking more about street gangsters. And that is, of course, the classic gangster story of Bugsy Malone, told with an all-child cast. From writer-director Alan Parker, stars a very young Jodie Foster and Scott Baio. And I will tell you, I had a real problem figuring out that one guy's face in the Once Upon a Time in America, the kid gangster who I felt like was so familiar. That's because it was a different Scott Baio. He looks just like Scott Baio in this movie, and that is Bugsy Malone. It's weird to watch. I haven't seen it in a long time, and as it happens, the whole thing has been posted to YouTube, and so I watched about a half hour of it. It's very strange to watch. It's like... it's going to your kid's high school musical, and all of the actors are above par, but it's still a high school performance or an elementary school performance, and so it's very strange to watch. I get a weird sensation, but I do have that same kind of feeling of watching these kids do crazy adult things, and it makes me smile. That's it. Street gangsters, Bugsy Malone.
I've never even. That's one that I've never seen it, never really heard of it, and don't think I'm going to be seeking it out.
Now, I've heard of it. I've just never gotten around to watching it because of the weirdness factor of it. Yeah. But no, I remember way back, and it must have been, I remember Siskel and Ebert talking about it. And it can't have been when it first was released. It must have been when it came out on video or something like that. Because I remember seeing clips of that and saying, what the heck is this craziness? So it's a film that I'm aware of. It's one that at one point when I was working at the video store at high school, big fan of Alan Parker, always looking forward to what he had coming out. I think he had a great, span there in the 80s and early 90s. This one, though, I don't know, just...
Yeah, you guys,
so
that's
weird.
a hole. That's a hole for you guys. It's a kids movie. I mean, it's a rated G, 1976. Like, it was one of the early cassettes that we had floating around our house, and so I mean, it's one of those. It's a 6.9 on the IMDb scale of goodness, and so it definitely clears the hurdle. It's a movie you should put on sometime just to have the experience, because I mean, they go all in on the gangster movie tropes, and it's funny. It's funny in that regard, and the fact that neither of you have seen it has actually improved it in my esteem. And now I believe that it should be the thing that you watch before In the Name of the Father. So,
okay,
wow,
there you go.
And I bet he will.
This whole thing delights me to no end, that
geez.
In the Name of the Father can be punked like this. But Bugsy Malone with children and a young Jodie Foster that's it. That's on your list.
All right. Well, there are our lists.
Next?
We are looking at Paul Newman's directorial debut next week. It's Rachel. So, Steve, have you seen this one?
No, I have not.
Well, we could do actors directing.
Movies Steve hasn't seen.
In the Name of the Father 3 times. I like actors directing. I think that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. What else?
Sad Ladies.
Sad ladies.
Sad Ladies.
Everybody's favorite movie category.
Sort of a generic sad lady film. So there's that. What else?
You could almost call it coming of age.
Coming of middle age.
Coming of middle age.
I like that.
Coming of age, I like. Coming of middle age, I don't know if I could think of many films.
Oh, I got them right off the top of my head. They're popping. Well, I'm lying. I have one.
Oh, okay. There you
go. But I know that they're there. I know they're there.
Well, we could do coming of age / coming of middle age.
Oh man.
So is this sort of like
It's
is
a
it
joke.
midlife crisis?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing
Yeah,
up at
sort
35.
of ish. Okay. Growing up at 35.
I
Okay.
like coming of parentheses middle age.
There you go. Okay.
That's what. And then
Okay.
Andy, you have your choice. You can ignore the
Okay,
parentheses.
I if that's what's picked, then I will.
All right.
I'll certainly try. Okay, actors directing, coming of middle age,
Thank you.
and what else? Teachers, summer vacation. Hey, summer
Movies
vacation.
about teachers.
Summer vacation movies.
Okay. Summer vacation movies. I can,
Do you wanna do
I
that?
can handle that. Yeah.
Or how about few films that have scenes set in funeral homes or in morgues?
Oh, I like that even
Do you like
more.
that more? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we just do morgues?
Yes. Morgues. Best morgues in film.
Okay.
That's a funny word, morgue. It only took 3 times
Yeah.
for it to mean nothing to me anymore. Morgues.
There you
It's not even a word. It's just a
Morgue.
collection of letters. Weird.
Yeah. That's what happens
okay.
every time I say glove. Glove.
Glove.
You're right. That's another weird one. It's gone. Just hearing you say it twice.
Yep.
Glove.
Glove.
That's really see when I hear the word glove, I immediately am drawn back to the Beatles' Yellow Submarine movie because of the big blue glove that the Beatles command, and they just yell out "glove," and then the glove goes and smashes.
I still
things.
haven't seen it.
So,
Oh.
it has meaning for me. It may not glove may not have meaning for you, but
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, we'll talk about it next week. I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of things, and one of them is Peter Jackson's documentary, They Shall Not Grow Old. I don't think we talked about that when I saw it last week. We'll talk
no.
about it.
Cool.
It's on the list.
On the list.
Fine day, gents. A good show. Even though we are, given our track record for actually seeing the movies nominated, we are completely useless in our picks.
It can't stop us from picking.
It won't stop us from picking.
No.
Nevertheless, we persevere. Have a great day, Steve, Andy. Good talking to you.
See ya.
Hondo.